Alright, guys, welcome back. This is another episode of destroying my house and getting garbage and trash from the streets and just piling it up around my house and finding spaces for it to fit. Today I got my vacuum cleaner and I figured out a way online to push instead of pull in air. And so I clicked on push and I just got to work getting it all over my carpets. I think what was inside was a bunch of printer paper and cat litter, and the printer paper was in bits because I had spilled my Fanta orange all over the printer, and so it was like all wet. Printer's all wet. That's that mold on the floor right there by the couch. As you can see, my couch is getting nicely full. My recliner is not. That is still something I have to work on. I have to find new things to put on that recliner. You can see that my coffee table is completely full. I'm not sure if I could fit any more much up there. You can see the vacuum is getting the trash and the debris very nicely across the room, spreading it around, just making sure it looks nasty. That thing is I had to throw up. I had to throw up the other day, and I just threw up on my wall right there, next to the closet. This is where I'm putting all my clothes, all my Target bags. Pretty much everything is going in this closet. This is after. This closet is almost full to the point where I can't open the door, so that's a success. So last week I noticed that I could walk in my hallway still. So I got a bag of garbage from down the street and I bought it inside, and here's me just spreading it around, just making sure everything gets put somewhere inconvenient. Right now I'm taking out electrical cords, socks, trash, mail, just anything of any size, anything of any size and any shape I take, and I just kind of spread it around my floor until it's hard to walk or you can't walk. So just putting stuff, hiding stuff in places too always helps with the roaches, the cockroaches. If you give them more places to hide, they will and they'll thrive. Just some more smaller trash. I decided this corner was way too organized, so I decided to start taking it apart and kind of ruin the area around it with more trash and scraps and just little things. Just more and more garbage, just empty cans, empty bottles, Coke bottles. This one was huge because it was my neighbor's. You can see there's a cup in there, a lot of his mail, newspaper, and the best place for that was underneath this cabinet because the paper is so thin, it fits perfectly and it stacks to the top. Then I got a bunch of trash from the bottom and I just started spreading it around the hallway. I'm thinking about leaving that trash can over there while I do this. Tupperware containers, empty cups, masks from COVID-19, just anything and everything goes. Pile looks pretty good, kind of unwalkable, so I move over to the piano room. Now, I've made really good progress on this room before. You can see the piano's not playable, you can't sit on the bench, so I'm really happy with this room. So, right now, I'm just putting stuff. I'm just piling things right now is really what I do first. At first I pile. I see where I can make a pile, where I can add on to a pile. I don't really stop a pile unless it touches the ceiling, so I'm always looking for how I can stack. So these are a bunch of books I got at a garage sale for $10. I got a bunch of these Walmart bags, the shopping bags, and I decided to make a stack right by the corner of the piano so you couldn't reach in and get the power outlet that's in there anymore. Just more magazines and books. got these hats, all these flat bill hats. You can see now I have a box of electronics to my side. That is from a yard sale. I got it for $5, and that's also going to be stacked in the pile. So first we got the Walmart headphones. I get distracted. You can see these videos. I look around. I don't put all the trash in the same pile at once. I was really looking forward to getting these electronics hidden and tucked away and tangled up. Before I put the electronics, I just wanted to put some trash in the area first for the electronics to sit on. It's better when colors don't match and things stick out. That makes it look a lot more dirtier and more cluttered. So right here is a bunch of paper and a bunch of books that I got for free on the side of the road, and I thought those would fit great way in the back. You gotta put heavy things in the back so that way when you're trying to clean, it hurts your back so you can't. So I've almost filled up this under the bench. I've almost filled up under the bench, so I think I'm ready to start putting my electrical wires just scattered everywhere and tangled. They came pretty nicely, but I'm gonna unravel them and try to get them as tangled up as I can before I place them, just so it's more dirty and cluttered, and it's just more difficult of a place to live in. Alright, here's me tangling them up, making it hard to untangle them, tying knots in 3 places down the line, and just putting them randomly. I don't really have a spot for these wires, so I'm just going to put them on the floor right now for a couple of years. While I was making this video, I found another box of baby books. It was down the street in another yard sale, so I just went ahead and put the whole box by the piano and didn't unpack any of it. I had to get another Tupperware from the kitchen sink. I had to get another Tupperware that was inside the oven, and I had to put that there to put the rest of the children's books in. I put a dirty shirt over it that I just pissed in, and some wrapping paper and a tortilla from last year. And then I just put the Tupperware container behind me, I just put its back. Alright, so this is my couch. You can see it's a mess right now. It's not as full as it could be. So I'm just gonna put boxes of diapers everywhere, just empty boxes, there's nothing in them. And I'm gonna try to fill up this corner as much as I can. I already put a body pillow, 3 blankets, a bicycle helmet, hangers, and the Tasmanian devil, but as you can see, it still looks pretty. You can sit down pretty easy. I think I lost my phone underneath, so I looked for a little bit and I couldn't find it. After I got McDonald's, I found even more books, so I decided to put them under the piano bench so I could get it completely full and have no sight of the wall. Then I started getting more wires that I found in my living room sink, and I decided to put those here too with the other wires just because I thought they would fit. And I think they look more messy because they're different colors and different lengths and different textures too, so even if they're not dirty, they appear dirty. I found a box of hangers, so I started to put those down too, just kind of everywhere I could fit them, just in crannies and under the couch and behind it and just under Taz. I got another bag of trash, and I found a bag of trash from the shed outside, so I decided to bring that in too and kind of just bring some outdoor stuff to my living room. I found more in the shed, so I brought it over, and I just decided to stack it, not really spread it out. This is another favorite corner of mine. This is the chalk corner. This is where I keep my big box of chalk. The other week I found 2 plastic tubs sitting outside of a Lowe's by the dumpster, and it was full of garbage, so this is them. I picked them up right away, and I knew I was going to spread them around my living room. But I didn't realize how perfect they would look on the side of my couch. I got the Santa Claus because it had a lot of hair on it, and I knew that it could get mold or it was going to collect a lot more dust. There was just a lot of things about it that could make the place messier. That pink bottle is Pepto-Bismol, and it helped me a lot of times go to sleep in this trash because honestly, sometimes there's not even a place for my head to lay that's not plastic or material. So I use Pepto-Bismol to go to sleep. It's a bunch of purses I got from Shein for $85. It was pretty cheap considering that it was about 11 or 12 purses. I just thought those would be nice medium-sized objects to go in my couch, on my couch. There's some toys that I thought would be fun to play with and a dog bed in case I ever get a dog. So those have use, but I also thought they would do good at filling up the couch, so I put them there. Those are shoes that came in from Shein too, and I decided to just throw those all over the floor. Right next to this place is the area that I like to call my bathroom, and that's because when I have to go to the bathroom, I'll usually shit under the couch, under one of the pillows, or I'll just piss on the wall. And so that part of the house usually stinks, but I just didn't want to deal with the smell today because I had to eat dinner in 5 hours, so I knew I would get sick if I smelled it, so yeah, that's why I'm wearing the mask. Yeah, so that's why I'm wearing the biohazard suit, just so I don't get sick. I got a bunch of mud from outside and I put it in this little container, and I decided to spread that around this storage device before putting trash on it. I noticed that these weren't filled nearly enough, so I started to just cram things in there until each separate drawer was overflowing with items. No matter how much I put, it still looked kind of empty to me, so I decided that I would do the vacuum trick with the pushing, and I would spread debris and trash all over the floor. I didn't know that this also works for the tube part, but it does, and it does quite well. You can see the debris starts to come out after a little bit, not right away, but once it does, it's pretty nasty, and all the trash gets around everywhere. You can kind of see a shit stain on the wall in the next room. I meant to crop that out of the video, but there is no room for my tripod. This part was really fun for me because it was a lot of newspapers and pictures I got from an antique store. I love looking at these kinds of unique things, and so when I get them, it's always a joy for me to place them around my house. Comment if you think the organizer is still empty. To me, it looks empty. I don't know if that's just my crazy brain going OCD on me, but I think it's too empty, and I think there should be more trash filled to the brim. This is an HDMI cord I got. I decided to tangle that up and just kind of make like a mountain of trash alongside this thing, just because it was bothering me so much. I decided to put way more stuff around it to make it look more full. And I'll be honest, I'm still not quite happy with it, but it is an improvement. I needed to make it harder for me to get inside my shower, so I decided to make the trail less accessible and kind of put things that are inconvenient to step on or because I would trip. So I put hangers everywhere and just a box of stuff, and this should make it a lot more harder for me to get to the bathroom. I also put my favorite boombox there, so if I step on it, I will go into a panic and buy more things. Here's me cutting up some string just to kind of place around that it's kind of too small to grab with your fingers. This was honestly the quickest I've blocked a pathway to any room. It took me about 15 minutes, and usually it takes me about 30 minutes, but I had so much trash on standby from my front yard that it was very quick. And it was such a small space to begin with, because I had to push my coffee table away from the TV because I had put 3 Amazon big boxes from the Amazon Depot store. This is just me filling in the little spaces with garbage and trash that it just looked too clean to me. I think it's the color of the carpet. It's just easy to look clean, so I decided to get just little scraps and little bits and pieces of trash and just put those everywhere just to kind of fill in the gaps. I got carried away and I think I put a lot less trash than I was going to. I was supposed to put the whole bag, but I think I was pretty generous with it. Kind of interesting story. The other day I fell and I hit my head on my kitchen table, and I didn't even know that the kitchen table was there. I honestly thought I had moved it a long time ago, so that gave me a laugh. The only thing I throw away is usually DoorDash bags, and I only DoorDash every night because I don't have a refrigerator that's working anymore, so the only thing that I'm stingy about is DoorDash bags. So, neat freak. I found a lot of dirty blankets outside of Goodwill on the street, and I decided to just lay those down by the piano too.